All right, so yesterday I was on the phone with multiple different public sector employees, with state governments, with local governments in Springfield. And I was looking for is I literally had probably 6 or 7 different public employees trying to find a number for me. What was the number I was looking for? I was looking for how many people are allowed in a particular committee hearing room at the Illinois State Capitol. The Illinois State Capitol has a bunch of hearing rooms. You've got hearing rooms inside the actual Capitol complex proper. You've also got hearing rooms in another building called the Stratton Building. And that particular building has, committee rooms all up and down it. And they're not very large, not nearly as big as the ones in the Capitol building. But one in particular I'm focused on because it's where Illinois State Police are going to be holding the first public hearing on the state's gun and magazine ban rules for the registry. So that's actually going to be coming up on November 2nd. So if you follow me on social media, you should be able to see the work I do with the Center Square. You could see the story there that ultimately you're going to have the first public hearing of a gun ban rule where it's going to be in a room with fewer than 100 chairs. And again, it took me forever. And I still didn't get the official number of like the fire occupancy. That's what I was looking for, how much actual fire occupancy people can be in a room. So I called, one place. They're like, let me see if I can call my manager. Called back like 2 hours later. They still hadn't had an answer. Called another place, called security, called the fire marshal, called even the Springfield Fire Department. Just looking for Stratton D1. All right. That's what I need to know. Stratton D1, how many people can fit in there legally, right? One person did get back to me and said, well, there's about 80 some odd chairs in there. And there's 20 some odd chairs for members, meaning members of the legislature, because it's a legislative hearing room. So I looked all over the place to try to find the actual, because you can remove the chairs and you can have standing room only. And I've seen that room packed before when they were discussing legalizing cannabis. I mean, the room was absolutely packed. But I imagine that there's going to be a similar outcome for whenever the Illinois State Police hold their first of 3 hearings. And that hearing, again, is going to be 9:30 Thursday, November 2nd, room D1 in Springfield. Again, 9:30 Thursday morning, November 2nd, inside D1 of the Stratton Building in Springfield. And I couldn't find the number to save my life. How many people could legitimately fit into the committee room without having to violate the fire code? And I asked the Illinois State Police as well. I said, do they have a knowledge of the capacity limits in Stratton D1? Again, a room with fewer than 100 chairs. And do they think it's going to be enough space for public comments on the issue? Is the department considering a backup location for such public comments in the interest that you've got a lot more people showing up? So have yet to hear back from Illinois State Police on that particular issue. But we talked with Dan Eldridge from Federal Firearms Licensees of Illinois, and he did indeed say that this is not going to be enough room for all of the people who have significant concerns that they want to raise with Illinois State Police.
I expected attendance at these hearings is going to be well in excess of what they could fit into that room. These rules are serious business. There's compliance risk for FFLs. There's compliance risk for manufacturers and customers, gun owners. We're talking about possible felony charges, and their rules that they published largely restated the act. They didn't educate anybody on all the ambiguity that's shot throughout this thing. Just one example: what's an instance of possession of a banned weapon? It's never really defined. Is it per firearm that's in your safe? Is it your safe? If it's examined at one time, nobody knows. And the difference between 1 and 2 offenses is significant. One's a misdemeanor and the second one is a felony where you're stripped of your gun rights, among other things. So it's a big deal. People are understandably quite worried about this implementation. We continue to press on multiple fronts within the courts to get the entire act struck down. But in the meantime, if we can get these rules clarified and implemented in a way that's at least less onerous, then that's a small win, but a win.
So again, that's Dan Eldridge from Federal Firearms Licensees of Illinois. Also owns Maxson Shooters Supplies and Indoor Range and Displays. And I'll let you know as far as if I find out the room's going to change. But as of right now, it's still going to be in Stratton D1, 9:30, Thursday, November 2nd. Stratton D1, Springfield, Illinois, 9:30 in the morning, Thursday, November 2nd. All right. It's a small room, so you might want to show up early if you want to secure your spot. If indeed state police let me know that they're going to be changing that location, I will let you know as well, right here with Bishop on Air each and every weekday morning, streaming live wherever you find it. All right, search the podcast, watch it on YouTube, watch the clips on YouTube, like, subscribe, click the ding or whatever you do, whatever those kids are saying nowadays. All right, we got more